In an effort to find some inexpensive entry-level RVs here at the Florida RV Super Show, we're going to take a look at the Clipper 17 CFQ Cadet. This is coming in at under $16,000.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy campers.
And after losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds,
we realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So we are here at the 2024 Florida RV Super Show, and we're on a quest to find some inexpensive entry-level RVs for people who maybe want to be just weekend warriors.
Like us. And we're seeing some amazing prices. Definitely this year, we're seeing the prices coming down. And I think it's going to open up this hobby for a lot of new people.
So we're going to go ahead and start off on the outside this time because there's some people inside, and then we'll head inside. And we can start off right off the bat. We are looking at an aluminum side, so this is not going to be a like fiberglass side. But that's what a lot of times you're going to see in an entry level. And there's some pluses and minuses to that. One of the biggest drawbacks is if you do have a problem, you're going to have to change an entire panel as well. It's not quite built as well, but again, we're looking at entry level. So starting up here in the front, once again, we do have a manual jack. Again, very easy to upgrade. You can go to Harbor Freight, you can buy one on Amazon. You just take this one off, put the new one on, connect it to your battery, which is going to be right here, and you'd have a powered jack. We have a single propane right here, and then again, place for our battery. Up here in front, we have a place for solar charge. This is just 10 amp, but we can always upgrade. Small pass-through, but again, for a small couples camper, this is more than enough. You can get your chairs in there, you can get your pop-up tent. Little manual here, so just one latch. And then up here, it doesn't have a magnetic hook. It's got a little hook to hold our door up here. Coming over here, we just have your standard door. We have a window right here. We do have a powered awning with some LEDs on it, and it's gonna run most of the length of the RV. Standard fold-away steps, so these are just gonna pop up underneath the RV. You don't have a big height difference here, but again, this is one of those springboard steps, so you might wanna get some just pieces that you can put on the bottom that'll give you a better sure footing. So we do have a single axle trailer here, 205/75 R14s. Again, D load range, but this is not going to be a very heavy trailer. Have a little plug right here for outside. Here's going to be our furnace. Leash link for our little pet. Got some manual stabilization jacks. We also have an LP Quick Connect, so you can put your grill on the outside. Standard square bumper. Again, we can put our sewer hose up inside of here. I always recommend taking this cap off, and you can get a magnetic cap that goes on here and it actually clamps onto your sewer hose. And this way it'll just pull your hose out when you need it. Over here in the back, we do have a single spare tire. It's always nice when they give you a spare tire. One thing you will notice though, there is no ladder, so this most likely is not a walkable roof up on top. Here in the back, we have our hot water heater. Again, standard 6-gallon hot water heater. We've got our 30 amp in, cable satellite in, and then we have our sewer connection and our holding tank water. So one tube coming in, 2 different valves. So you have a little one right here. Nice, easy access. I love having that right there. So looking right over here, we can't quite get down there, but we do have a city water fill as well as a city water connection. And we also have our fresh water drain. And once again, as you're going to see on a lot of these more inexpensive RVs, it does not have a black tank flush. But again, that's not a huge deal. There are connections you can get to put onto your sewer outlet and just kind of flush up through all of your different pipes. And let's just take a look real quick at our capacity here. So this sleeps 2 to 3 people. You have a UVW of 2970 pounds, a hitch weight of only 330 pounds, with a GVWR of 3850. So you can carry about 900 pounds of stuff in here. And we have an exterior height of 10 feet, exterior width of 7 feet. with a length of 20 feet 5 inches and a 27-gallon freshwater tank.
Okay, so let's take a look at the inside. So something I like right away is the positioning of the bed. A lot of times when there's a small camper like this, they turn the bed sideways, and that makes it really hard for a couple not to have to crawl over one another during the middle of the night if you have to get up to go to the bathroom. They do have some nice in-table type tops on either side of the bed. I love these. Having a little shelf in order for you to put your phone or your remote control for the television is really, really nice. Now, I am looking for plugins, and it looks like it is up here on the wall. On both sides, there is a plug, and that's going to be great if you want to charge your phone. You need something for your CPAP machine. Really nice.
I am noticing one thing here is, so on what would be my side of the bed, there is an outlet. But over on what would be Rachel's side of the bed, there is an outlet and a USB plug. I don't really think that's fair. Why are you getting the USB plug and I'm not?
Happy wife, happy life. Up here, this is going to make me happy, and that is more storage. Now, our Eleanor trailer has storage like this. You see, it's just like one big space. Only ours has cabinet doors. That makes it a little bit of challenging because if things shift in transit, you're trying to like reach in behind the cabinet door in order to grab your stuff. So I actually like it open like this without cabinet doors. You do have some small cabinets here, but these are very small, not very deep at all. So it would be challenging to find things besides like a pair of shorts that you're going to be able to hang from here. So it is a little bit tight in here while you're moving around. However, that's going to be because there is no slide, which for some people is a big selling point because this is going to be a very compact unit. Okay, so over here you have a little kitchen. I really like the positioning of this stovetop because that way you can utilize both burners authentically instead of trying to make it a 3-burner stovetop. Over here, you've got the sink, and it's a nice little sink, not too deep, but not too shallow either. I am noticing that they didn't bother putting in the Easy Bake Oven, but we're also missing a microwave. I really wish that they had a microwave in this unit just so that you could heat up a hot dog. And there's not a tremendous amount of counter space if you're wanting to plug in an air fryer over here. So I wish that we had either a little bit more counter space so I could bring some cooking devices along, or they would put in a microwave. Now here where the microwave would normally be is a cabinet, and there is a plug-in up there. So I guess you could purchase something and then put it in this area.
You can get a little small countertop microwave and stick it up in there.
Stick it in there. Now, underneath the sink, you have some storage, which is actually pretty respectable considering how small this is. And you have some storage right here, but it is pretty shallow, to be honest. It's only about that deep on this shelf. Okay, so we're gonna move over to the refrigerator, and this is a little bit of a snug area. But you can see the refrigerator. Now you can imagine going into the bathroom, there's going to be a little bit of traffic here with the doors. This is why I always prefer pocket doors or a sliding door versus doors, because it can cause a lot of problems and waste some space. You can imagine if you want to use the bathroom, this is not going to be the most popular seat, right? Because you have this door. Whereas if you just had a sliding door, a pocket door of some sort, you could eliminate this. Even an accordion door would work well
I
here.
was just going to say, like, you probably don't have enough room for a pocket door. Again, this is a very small couples camper, weekend getaways. And listen, it's couples. Just an accordion door would probably be more than enough. I mean, I'm looking, there's a giant gap on the top of the door anyway. So, like, what's the difference between having that and just putting up like an accordion bifold type door?
I can guarantee you the very first thing Joe would do if we purchased this couple camper is take this door down. Like, that would be the number one thing he would do. Okay, well, let's talk about the dinette. The dinette is actually really nice size for this camper. So nice 2 seats, big giant table. You got a plug in here. I will say I'm pretty impressed with the amount of plug-ins and receptacles in this unit considering how small it is. So we've got some over the dinette cabinet space, which is decently deep. So that's really nice. And it looks like you could hang a television set right here, which would be great if you're viewing it from the bed or you're viewing it from this seat. Now, again, this is going to be the seat that nobody calls shotgun on, because it's not great for the television, and it's also not great if someone's going to use the restroom. So let's take a look at the restroom. All right, so getting into the bathroom, I will say it's pretty decent for me, but you're looking at, it may be a little bit challenging for somebody who is Joe's size, over 6 feet. We have talked in other videos about how if we could expand this space a little bit, it might give more headroom to somebody who's over 6 feet tall. But when you have a little square like this, a lot of times you're going to have some bumping of the head unless you're standing exactly perfectly aligned with the opening. Now, coming over here to the toilet, I will say I have plenty of room. At least the way they position the toilet, I'm not dealing with the door and having like elbow issues, which is nice. Right next to me is some good storage, I will say, for this unit. So great for your towels and toiletries. Under this sink, you have a little bit of storage around the pipes, but not as much down below. Decent amount of counter space considering how small this sink is. A lot of times you won't even, they'll cut it off here and you won't get this extra bit of room. So I'm really glad that they've budgeted some space for countertops, and you have another plug-in, which is fantastic. There is a really nice medicine cabinet with some deeper storage in there, and I'm pretty impressed with that. And a nice little mirror. Okay, so this is definitely a couples camper based on the size of it. However, if you do want to bring a small child or a guest, you can fold down this dinette and make it into a bed. Before we wrap up, let me look underneath this bed and see what kind of storage we're dealing with.
That's a decent amount of storage for a small RV like this.
Very, very reasonable.
Also, we want to mention real quick, they do have an air conditioner right here. And for the size of this unit, you are going to get nice and cold with that air conditioner. That is more than enough AC for this little small unit.
Okay, so what do you think, Joe? I think there's a lot to love about this little couples camper.
What this couples camper is reminding me of is when we started looking at RVs. I mean, so if you know our backstory, we were in a pop-up camper. Rachel decided like, hey, let's get an RV for Joe's 50th birthday. And this is what we were looking at. Not necessarily this unit, we were looking at Jayco's, but same kind of thing, like 16, 17 foot RVs. That's what we were going to be able to afford. And we thought that was really all we needed. But it's what got us into RVing, looking at these. And then we realized for just a couple $1,000s more, we can step up into something with a slide. One of the reasons we really liked a unit like this originally was no slide, because you were afraid of slides. You didn't want to have a slide.
Yeah, and parking an RV in a neighborhood can be tricky. And being able to get in and, pack your RV and keep it on the side of the house, it being this narrow is really nice, because it's not just the expense of the RV itself, but like, can you, park it someplace? Or are you going to have to rent a facility or a parking space someplace so that you can park it? Or are you going to have to upgrade your vehicle in order to be able to properly tow an RV? So it's kind of nice that I think that this is truly an entry level unit for people who aren't interested in finding a parking space to rent or upgrading their vehicle.
And that's where I think my pro is going to come in, is the overall size of this unit. We're looking at 17 feet inside, 21 feet total length with your tongue, 7 feet wide. So that is going to fit down the side of a lot of people's houses if they have room. That was something for us that we had to look at, is we never wanted to have to rent a spot. So we couldn't get anything larger than 8 feet. That's why we're not in a fifth wheel, because getting into a fifth wheel, we probably wouldn't be able to fit it down the side of our house. So for me, the overall size of this is definitely a pro. I think you're getting a lot for a small size, and it is perfect for those weekend or even week-long getaways.
So what about the con of it?
So my con is going to be subjective, but this is a huge one for me. And that is going to be, this is a single axle trailer.
Oh my gosh, you totally stole mine.
So as somebody who has been driving trailers since I learned how to drive when I was 16 years old, and somebody who has driven trailers for my landscaping business and everything else, in my experience, when you have a single axle trailer, if you were to have a blowout, and inevitably it's going to happen, you're going to hit a nail, you're going to have something hit the sidewall of your tire, you're going to accidentally exceed the speed rating, which is what causes a lot of blowouts, is like underinflation, overinflation, and more importantly, exceeding speed ratings. And that's going to be very easy to do in this RV because it's a lightweight RV.
Yes, it is.
And you're going to be towing it down the street, and then all of a sudden you're going to be doing 75, 80 miles an hour, which you should not be doing with an RV. And most likely, I didn't look at it, but I'm going to tell you that probably these tires have a speed rating of 65 miles an hour. And so you're going to blow a tire, and if you're on a single axle, that could lead to a flip unless you have an RV that has special suspension that could keep you going straight. And so that's probably my biggest con with it. And again, I know it's subjective because it's a small RV. It doesn't need 2 axles, but personally, I wouldn't buy an RV unless it had certain types of suspension that has a single axle, which again is why we ended up in Illinois, because I was insistent of no single axle.
So since you took my con is going to be the lack of a microwave. And I know that that's like a silly thing and you can, you know, add on one later.
But you're gonna give up counter space and storage space.
Right, exactly. And there's not a lot of counter space or storage space because it is such a small unit. So having to bring along something to cook with, I know that they do have 2 burners, but let's be honest, it's so much easier to just like throw a hot dog in the microwave or a hamburger patty in the air fryer. And so I would just like something to cook without having to get pots and pans out.
And I'm going to add to that, since you don't have a microwave and you have the 2 burners, what I just realized as you were saying that you are missing, that's going to make you not want to use those burners inside, is there's no vent.
Right.
So you don't have an exhaust vent. So you're going to go and fry bacon or fry eggs.
And you stuck with it.
Or cook something that's got a little bit of smoke. You're not going to be able to. So you're going to end up having to do a lot of your cooking outside, which we like to do anyway. But what if it's a rainy day? Now you can't heat anything up, especially if you don't bring a microwave. What was your pro? We didn't get your pro.
I'm sorry. My pro is going to be this bed and the dinette. Like the living space in here is perfect. And actually, as small as this is, doesn't feel claustrophobic. I mean, the layout is really nice. And since you don't get a slide, I thought that having a dining area, a seating area, you know, would be non-existent. So it's really nice that this feels like an open living space. And I think with 2 people, you're definitely going to be comfortable.
Well, that's our look at the Clipper CFQ Cadet. Let us know down in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this RV? Do you think this is a good entry-level couples getaway camper? While you're down there, please do us a favor, hit that like button on this video. It really does help build the channel, but more importantly, it lets us know what kind of videos you guys are looking to see.
And don't forget to hit the little subscribe button and also the bell button. That way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time,
Happy camping.